that all the Inyanim of Tishrei continue all the way till Lamed Tishrei, and then even further. And then it was Masbir, the whole Avodah of Tishrei and its complete shleimus, including, it's not Nama Dichsufa, bread of shame, but earned through our Avodah. True, that itself is granted, empowered by Hashem, but thereafter, as you learned in the Rosh Hashanah, Maimon Yifchalon, Avodah Satachten affects his prayer, and he elicits the Hamshachas V'Lamaila, and is mo'ered a new Rotzen, even a Rotzen Atzmi. So all of this is B'Shleimus, and he added at the end the explanation of Chassidus in the Pasuk, on the words of the Pasuk, Yosha Yechsu Faneimai, which literally straight or direct, they gaze upon his face. So the plural is the Hamshachim L'Maila L'Mata, Em L'Mata L'Maila, the Einei Hashem, the eyes in plural, meaning side the Hamshachim from above to below and below to above. So it's Yosha. Yosha means literally straight or direct, meaning to say that the Hamshachah that we are Mamshich is uncompromised. The way it is L'Maila, Yosha comes directly L'Mata. As he concludes the final words, Bashva Achas, last line of that ois. Bashva Achas means in one continuum, in one equal, unchanged Hamshacha, and that is a Tachlis Tashlemis Ba'yichud. That's the ultimate in Yichud, when the two parties, as it were, connect, each one fully uncompromised. But Proteus Yosef now continuing in greater detail. Hine ba'avedis b'nei Yisrael shepeles in Yoni Chedesh Tishrei. So the avodah of Eden, which prayer. So he's stressing here, it's a hemshech to what he just said moments ago. It's not nama dichsufa, bread of shame, but it's avodah satachtim. So in the avodah of the Yid, that affects all the hamshachas of Tishrei, mudgish inyan achtos. What's underscored is the inyan of achtos, of unity. K'moi be'inyan, starting with tamdechuni aleichem, that the coronation of Hashem, make me king over you, happens when Yidden adafke b'achtos k'mishazaz mashakosa. And that's what the pasuk says in V'zayis habracha, b'shurun melech, and Hashem, referring to Hashem, was king in Yeshurun. Yeshurun referring to the Yidden. So the pasuk goes on to say, how does Hashem become melech in Yeshurun by Yidden? In the page 8. In the Inyan zeh, Nifel Dafka, as the pasuk continues, Bisaseh Rashi when the leaders gather together, Yachad, together, Shifta Yisrael, the tribes of Israel. So that's integral to Vahi B'Shurun Melech. Kvisha Mavai Rabbi Nazar. That Rebbe explains on this pasuk Shakula Misasfim Yachad, that all Yidden gather together, Liyas Lachodim Ke'echad, to be one. It's not good here that are hinted to this Misasvim, that's gathering, implying still separate entities, and then Liyas Lachodim Ke'echad, that's three dargis mentioned here. V'loche, three levels of the neshama through which these deeper levels of unity are manifest. And therefore, even the Hakdama to Rosh Hashanah, the parsha which we always read before Rosh Hashanah, which is Nitzavim, which hints to Rosh Hashanah, it's a hint to Rosh Hashanah. Moishe did not say that parsha Erev Rosh Hashanah. He said it on Zion Others when he said it. But it hints to Erev Rosh Hashanah. Because the pasuk says, Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem. It's all based on the pasuk in the Iyov, that Vahi Hayom, and the Targum says Hayom is Yom the Dinah Rabbah. That's the marker that the day judgment. That's when the Iyov was challenged by Satan. So that's the marker that they saw him Hayom, the day, without qualifying the first Rosh Hashanah. Dinah Rabbah. Anyway, he's not mentioning this now because this is like foundation. So that's what before Hashem read Atem Tzamayin Kolchem Rasheichem Shiftechem. What does the pasuk say again in Achtos? That you stand, all of you today, heads of your tribes, reckoning 10 levels, all the way down to the wood choppers and the water carriers. Here too, the pasuk addresses different levels of unity, including the ultimate kulchem, all of you, one word. So that's the way it is. Where in the Achon of Rosh Hashanah and in the Rosh Hashanah, the Inyan of Achtos permeated, is present, and it's integral to the Avodah. It's integral to the Avodah. The stress is the Avodah component, which means you have to work at it. It doesn't happen by itself. All the Inyan of Tishrei and all the way till it's revealed expression on Sukkot, which reveals all that which is concealed prior. Shomer Hazal, what does the Gemara say about the sukkah? That the sukkah has no limit to its size because the pasuk says Shekol Yisrael Ruim Nation, the sukkah achas all Yidden are worthy to sit in one sukkah, because that's the pasuk says. All Jews should sit in sukkahs, implying they can sit in one sukkah. Sukkah achas l'chol Yisrael, so that one sukkah for all Yidden, what's that? Obviously, it's Achdus, K'meishoye B'Kesed, Rosh Hashanah. And that's the way it was on a much more latent, concealed level. Rosh Hashanah, B'Sasiv, Roshi, Om, Yachad, Shifti, Yisrael, that the Eibishter becomes Melech in Yishul, and when Yidden gather together, they're the Yidden of Achdus. But there it's B'Kesed. Why is it B'Kesed? Why should it be a simple level? You come to Shul, daven, not interacting. And so the unity is on a mamish and a shama transcendent level. But here he's sitting in the sukkah, bringing together, talking, engaging, and doing, what is even in halacha, tiyul, going for a walk in the sukkah. The tiyul just means to pass time, leisure activities. That in a sukkah, that's a deeper act. That's where the achtas permeates the matter. Embracing the guf and embracing our everyday activities, he does so together with other yidden ba'achtas for sukkah achas. So the Achdus is even further manifest and further revealed and further tangible. In brackets, the pasuk we just said by Yibishud and Melech. Bis Asif Rosham is read, then that's the kriya, the reading of the day. And Yid makes a bracha before and afterwards, as opposed to just learning it. Learning it is one thing that could be in ruchni. When a Yid makes a bracha over the Torah, it's hamshacha, and it means it's emes. But Inyan habracha ma'amis is hadavar elishim safek, because you make a bracha over something, so it attests to its truth without any doubt or shadow of doubt. Ba'ila, we'll be getting such shul with somebody. There he speaks in Tanya that we say the Eibush is Baruch Hashem Seileach. So that's not a wishful thing. It's mitzius. It's not a request there. Beginning is a request, lachlon, but the end is it's a mitzvah. The Eibush forgives. If you make a bracha, it's forbidden to make a bracha in vain. So bracha, and Torah says, make the bracha. So it means that it happens, he says, without a doubt or shadow of a doubt. So likewise, this bracha, likewise by Yibishud and Melech, Bis Asif Rosh Yom, that is said, read, Simchas Torah, by Yid makes a bracha before, and the bracha after means that it is the emes, and emes true means manifest on every level. So the emes, all the way down to our Gashmidik lives. Sha'oz and Nidresh, and therefore it's demanded of the Yeshnoi, and therefore there is Inyan Hanigo, Varikot, Eitzel Kol Yisrael. Song and dance by every Yid. Who? For all Yidden from the top level, is Shavah Mamish equally dancing in a circle, equally. So the Achdus has permeated all the way down, Mamish Begashmis, embracing every Jew. Continue. Here on page 9. Given to call Inyan Tishrei L'Shanas Ma'David Osam Shal Yisrael K'fi Shem Beifin Shal Achtos. Since all the Inyanim of Tishrei that's affected through the Avodah of Yidden, which happens dafka in the way of Achtos, and it's through that Nimshach and Gabba Meshach Kol Hashem Kol. It's through this whole Avodah, therefore, that it's Nimshach throughout the whole year. The conclusion, therefore, is Arimuv. The Rebbe is stressing here that integral to the whole point of this of the Maimon of what Tishrei is and its effect on the whole year, integral to this thing of Achtos. Shegam Achdusim Shayisol Shebechedesh Tishrei, that the Achtos of Yidden, it's integral to all of the Avodah of Tishrei. Tzarich Lis Beifin Shetzum Shegam B'Meshach Kol Hashem Kula has to be in such a way that too continues throughout the year. Further explanation, Binyan Bazeh Isaiah. Yine lachre Chodesh Tishrei maschilo ha'avodah v'Yaakov halach l'darkei. So after Chodesh Tishrei begins the avodah. Yaakov went on his way. Plus, at the end of Parshas Vayetze, the end of the whole encounter, the whole 20 years with love. The Rebbe explains at length on the Maimon with the words beginning with the pasuk in Shir HaShirim, which says, "Ketapuach ba'atzei," are like the apple tree amongst the trees of the forest. So there, Pirush HaKosim explains the pasuk. Now, that was the Dibra Maschanai quotes. Ketapur, Batsei, like the apple tree amongst the trees of the forest, came doidi bein habonim, so is my beloved amongst the sons. But Tziloi in Nished Chemdosi is my desire to be, or my delight, my Chemdo, V'yashavti, and I sit at his side. Explains the Alter Rebbe the pasuk. Pasuk in them Maral Gino Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur and Sukkot. The pasuk is referring to Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. How so? The Mashiach calls at the end of the pasuk, "See loichem in his shade, chemdasi is my delight, v'yashavti and I dwell." Obviously, koi al chag Sukkot. That refers to Sukkot, which then in brackets shemimshich v'shminat tzeret v'simchas Torah v'bchinas pnimius. So Shminat Simchas Torah is, as we explained, not the Yid sitting in the Sukkah, but the Sukkah sitting within the Yid. If he explains Shminat Tzedek at night here, the diak of the Rashi, what Shminat Tzedek ein yesh from the Sukkah. The Gemara mentions 6 things that set Shminat Tzedek apart from the other 7 days of Sukkahs. And that is regel. Regel b'fnei. What's the regel? Says Rashi, ein yeshim b'sukkah. They don't sit in the sukkah. So maybe the kavos that makes it a regel. You don't sit in the sukkah a whole year. So that makes it a yom tov.
And we sit in the sukkah.
Huh?
And we sit in the sukkah.
It's the minig. Rapi did. That will explain why also. But Akaponim, so the teretz is there is the inyan of sukkah, but ein yeshim b'sukkah. So where's the sukkah? Sukkah is in you, it's pnimius, which is why the minig is that we do sit without a bracha to convey that there is the inyan of sukkah, but now it's a makif, which is now drawn by pnimius, as we explained in this line too. Akoponim, so that the inyan of what the b'tzilichem dasi v'yashaft. Ifnei ze yesh the tapuach ba'atzei ayor k'deidi bein habonim, like the apple tree. The apple, of course, associated with Rosh Hashanah also. Amongst the trees of the forest, so my beloved is unique. I need to say the apple tree stands out amongst the trees of the forest. So my beloved is unique amongst all the boys, amongst all the sons. So there he said, that's the Avodah explains that. There's a reference, that's a reference to Rosh Hashanah. Well, and not only that, because the meaning of the apple is what? Because then, through that avodah we draw, you'd give him the sarachim. Where is it drawn from? A b'chinas leiven or Elyon. So leiven Elyon means the supernal, literally supernal white one. It's a reference that cloud to the earth itself, higher than the colors. Pshitus of the earth itself, higher than hues and colors. All of the colors reflecting the different midas. So this is the whole thing of Yaakov v'holach ladarkei right after being kissed by Lavan. Derech masha kosev v'yashkim Lavan ba'beikev v'yanashik, and he kissed Yaakov and his daughters, and then Yaakov v'holach ladarkei. That's the hemshah. Yaakov explains that v'achar kach v'yelech v'yoshev Lavan Lavan back to his place. Yaakov v'holach ladarkei. The derech ha'isik b'terei mitzvahs, what's Yaakov's way? The way of terei mitzvahs. But how does it begin with? Talteb actually says every morning. Vayashkem Lavan ba'beikev every morning he is empowered with this Leivan Elyon, which Beifan Kloli is when Elul and Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. You give me the Sarachim. Every morning we get a big embrace of Rahmanas at the highest level. You give me the Sarachim. Rahmanas, the Neshama, the Guf again, starting another day, but that's the Tachlis HaKavanah. Just like this happens every day, it's every morning, by Yanashik, it kisses every year. The Loiv and the Elyon, the embrace, the kiss, he embraces and kisses them.
Why does such a high darga come down in the way of love, in the way of
that's perennial.
Saying what's higher falls lower.
Yeah.
But
so Lavan is
it's not always like that. I mean, this year time.
His shadish, the shadish of Lavan is very high. And Yaakov was mavader him.
Right. Okay.
And he was mamshech the Leiv and the Elyon. So I'm just saying there's the kiss and the embrace. There's two different inyan. The kiss is panim al panim, the embrace is you hold the person from the back. So the kiss is neshama and the embrace is guf. So as the way it is every day, so there's the union of the kiss and the embrace of the Leiv and the Elyon in the general year, which is now Tishrei, Elul Tishrei. He just finished saying that the Proteus that is galus of the Leiv and the Elyon, which is the apple tree. Associated with the apple tree, you give me the sarachamim, sweetness, and so on. Shitus. So this is Elul al Rosh Hashanah in Yom Kippur. So then already starts the Yaakov Halachadak. There's a relative after Yom Kippur, the Yaakov Halachadak, and it continues a mata all the way to Zayin Chesh, and even beyond. Even beyond.
Oh, because the
Zayin Chesh, the last person reached Hapras. No, in Tishrei, yeah. Yeah, just so we wait till the winter, middle of the winter equinox. But next to Sultan, they stay.
So the Yaakov Halachadak officially ends on.
No, it goes even further. The Rebbe's Masber goes even more. In the famous series of Sichos Lamed Ches, I don't recall where it ended, but went on from Kama Shavuos Yaakov Halachadak deeper and deeper. Gracious, Noah, Lech Lechavu. Said I hinted to yesterday. Maybe doesn't let go of Tishrei, because the whole thing of Tishrei is everything. I mean, that's the whole kavanah. I mean, Malchut, the Rosh, the Nossi, Skashus. It's all one Inyan. From Klal, it's all one Inyan. She said, "Nossi Akoyim." That's what it's an interesting din. Interesting thing when I come to the Tfilas of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the din is that year round, the person knows how to daven, he should not be yoytze with the shliach tzibur. Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur year. The reason simply is because the Tfilas are not common, so we allow you to then to be yoytze with the shliach tzibur. But Pnimi saying is Shanim Kippur is these galus of the holding in of Melech, of the Nasi HaKoil, it's the Rosh, the head of the year. So therefore, even in the Tefillah, the Ivarim, we're all different Ivarim. The emphasis here is the Rosh, as the Ivarim are absorbed and bottled to the Rosh. So therefore, the Allah is it can be Yotze with the Tefillah and the Shliach Tzibur, which means that it's the Maila, not a Sodom. The rest of the year, the emphasis is the different Ivarim manifesting their individual shlichus, as he goes on to say. But Rosh Hashanah, Tishrei, you can have this to plug in to the place of the Moishe market, to the Rosh, where all Yid know one, hence Achdus is integral to this. If a Jew is in a Tishrei, but he's what's the word? Alone. Solo. He's solo in his avodah. He's missed the whole. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. Because if you're connected there, that's all you know there. This is the whole. So he's saying that the Yaakov, back to the mind, the Yaakov Halach L'Darka has his relative. There's a Yaakov Halach L'Darka after Yom Kippur. The Rebbe Marash explains the famous Hemshech V'Kocha, one of the most frequently, if not the most frequently quoted Hemshech by our Rebbe, this Hemshech V'Kocha of the Rebbe Marash. She'Inyan's, it's actually a Pesach thing. She'Inyan's a Maschel B'Metzah Yom Kippurim. When is the first Yaakov Halach L'Darka, relatively speaking, starts already after Yom Kippur? But since all the Gilim are still happening at a transcendent level, still is not being drawn down yet. When is it drawn down Lamata and Sukkot? Therefore, in the main, it starts already after Yom Kippur. That's mamish the 4 steps, the 4 days between Yom Kippur and Sukkot. Yom Kippur is the Yichud room, Nil is Yichud. And here, Chas and Kal, the Yidden are walking 4 steps, Dalat Amas, to the big celebration. It's already moving out into the world. But still a chasna, the celebration is still going on. They didn't begin their life together. That's going to be Shams Bereshis later. But already the process of that moment of complete seclusion and intimacy, the Maila, they're stepping out of that and gradually into the world. So the first step is the Dalat Jam and the Yom Kippur and Sukkot. And when is the Ike Yaakov Halach L'Darka? Is when Maschel B'Metzah Simchas Torah begins. B'Metzah Simchas Torah Kidu. I mean, Shinitzke Kam Pamag Din Siderenu. Kivik Modem Chami Admo, as is known. The Minig mentioned many times by Nesiderenu. B'Metzah Simchas Torah. The Meliubאוויטש B'Metzah Simchas Torah. Machrizim Yaakov Halach L'Darka. They would announce, and Yaakov went along his way. Again, bearing in mind, this comes right after the Yinashik Lova, as Benoisov, and so on. After this empowerment of the Leiv and the Elyon, which is Elul Hashan Yom Kippur. This itself in a Kishem Shebizman. Now, that's an interesting thing. And a Vort, I don't think it says anywhere else. Just like Shibisman Shoyin Shadalila Regla Kipshuta. Now, this itself, this bringing it all down. So just like it was in the time of the Beis Hamikdash, we had the Inyan about the Regla going up, Kipshuta literally. So then, what happened? Like the Yisrael Beretz HaKodesh Adis Yom Shal Kol Chodesh Tishrei. Eden were in Eretz Yisrael till the end of the whole month. The Gam Nichnasu, great news, Nichnasu Lekame Yom B'Chodesh Cheshvan. They were still in Eretz Yisrael, at least not in Yerushalayim. They started leaving right after Simchas Torah, but they were still in Eretz Yisrael. And they were still even till Chodesh Cheshvan, the 7th of Cheshvan. Shenak Ozik Yachan should be sold in Har Pros. That's why 7th of Cheshvan, Eretz Yisrael, they start saying, requesting rain, not to interfere. The travelers were coming back from the Beis Hamikdash from being Eile Regel, the last year to reach the Euphrates River. Now comes the vote. So if Bisman Haba is Begashmius, this whole thing continued into Cheshvan, as everyone's pointed out, on a simple level, like, we're all waiting for rain for this one travel. It's inconveniencing the whole population. We need rain. It's an agricultural economy primarily. The contrary, it's thanks to this 1 year. Tishrei is continuing. All them shachas in 1 year. This one Jew is keeping Tishrei betoikev till the 7th of Cheshvan. All the brachas and amshachas and all the avodas and the achdus in a revealed way. So it's not the pshat when he gets there, he turns and says, "Thanks, guys, for waiting for me." That too. But us, we all say to him, "Yeshikoyach to you." For keeping this the power of 1 year. And when that's the whole point. The achdus means if one Jew is missing, the whole thing is done. Emes achdus is every year. So if it continued, but Gashmi is still there, now 3 lines in the bottom now. Allah has come but come shekene bisman shebei nasim kol and then by from the sham farns sustainable. Baruchnius, which is less limited to time, and that's how we do it today. Today with the aliyah l'regel, it's all baruchnius. The sham farns sustainable by we complete or repay or fulfill the oxen with our lips, the korbanos. So benegela matzev aruchni shekol echad achas misrael. How much more so spiritually by every year, how much more so is it true that all these inyanim continue into Cheshvan? And it's easier to be pale. Shenekel Yosel Lifel, it's easier to affect. Because why? Because we're doing so Baruch Nis, and it's accessible to everybody. And the answer you call Echad V'achas, male and female. Because the chiyuv, the aliyah l'regel is only the male, and it's only limitations, bagashmis, and where you live. If you live far away, you don't have to go. There's all kinds of akbalas. Not everybody went. The baruchni is everybody. So for sure, we pale the Inyan. Sheneikel yesel lifel, it's easier to affect in brackets for ochin pale in mezais b'pale, and we do so. We do so. Sheyumshechu kol inyoni tisha meshach kol yemei achodesh, that we are pale. First of all, that all the inyan of Tishrei, they don't. Rosh Hashanah doesn't end. Rosh Hashanah ends. It's throughout the entire month. It's all called Chodesh Tishrei. It's all called Chodesh Hashvi. All the things we explained about the name of the month. V'hainu shekol zman sheyideya. As long as a Jew knows, this was yesterday. Shezeh yoyim b'chodesh Tishrei, that today is still a day in Tishrei, which was yesterday, the 30th of Tishrei. He said the Maimon, but don't despair. As I niskorim, according to Arizal on the Megillah, he remembers, and therefore Kedibais, it should be the male and Nasi. When he's aware of this and plugs into it, that hey, I'm in Tishrei, so therefore he's pale. Kedibais properly called in Yonah Chedesh Tishrei the Pratei and L'Chaleim. All the Iman of Tishrei in their details and in their general levels. Ad l'rega ha'acharin shal yem ha'shleishim ha'chedesh Tishrei, to the last moment, which is last night, the Shkia of the 30th day of Tishrei. But now, which is us today, but Acharis, and then afterwards, Maskin to be Yaakov Olaf Nadarkoi, La'avodas Kol Hashana Kol. Only afterwards, Tishrei is only over yesterday. So the real Yaakov Olaf Nadarkoi is not even Mitzvah Simchas Torah. It's today, after Tishrei. Omnam. However, Gam B'Negel Linyan Yaakov Olaf Nadarkoi Merch Kol Hashana Kula. He doesn't leave Tishrei behind. Even in his avodah of the entire year, tzarich le'is'inyan klali oy b'chodesh Tishrei atzmo. 1 second. Yeah. Before he said that there's the Inyan of Yaakov Olach Darka that starts already when Matzah Yom Kippur and the Matzah Simchas Torah. Now he said the Iker Inyan starts when after Tishrei. So now he's adding that even after Tishrei, there has to be I'm not exactly sure.
He's saying that the
Huh? Speak up.
He's saying the Inyan of Tishrei. Because till now we're saying that Tishrei is the head of the year, and the whole of it, Tishrei is the whole of the year.
It seems he's saying that, but it's not so clear on the
That's
words.
in Yaakov, which goes into the whole year.
So he should say this Inyan Kloli Oid Shel Chodesh, but he's taking us back into B'Chodesh.
No, that Inyan Kloli.
Whatever is Inyan of Bechodesh Tishrei is for the Kol Hashana Kulo.
No, you see that Inyan Kloli.
That's the intent for sure. Just not saying it's clear in the words. Okay, let's finish the next paragraph. That's clearly the intent, but. Yeah, it's not exactly clear. What does he mean, the part? He wants the Inyan Kloli.
That avodah of the year, that klolistic avodah that he just mentioned, saying also in Chodesh Tishrei it exists, like Matzah.
Not after, not starting after.
Before that, Matzah Yom Kippur. That avodah Kloli, Yaakov Chadarki throughout the year,
Yeah.
also in Chodesh Tishrei.
He said before, but now he's saying, Gam ben Gilim Yaakov Chadash Meshach Kol Hashana Kula is taking us to the year.
Yeah.
Now there, Tzorech Liyos, in the year has to be something he's referring to.
Inyan Kloli also in Chodesh Tishrei. That Inyan Kloli is also happening in Chodesh Tishrei itself.
We're finished with Tishrei. He's not taking us back to the Zman of Tishrei. Now the Gosha here is a Meshach Kol Hashana Kula. In the whole year, there's something about the Veda Klolis of Tishrei that still has to continue the whole year. It seems that he's saying really saying this, that
why don't you be medayik from the word oid?
Let me just
When you says he's
okay. It's not only the protisdik avodah now of the whole year, but the klolos avodah of the unique Yaakov Lachadarkim Matzayim Kippur, and the klolos dik avodah, which is a higher, more transcendent level. It's not the protisdik avodah of Tishrei. And then a little bit lower than that is Matzai Simchas Torah. That too is Meshach Kol Hashana Kula. So that's what he's saying. That's not clear in the words.
perhaps he's saying the original statement is the klal. There's a klal in Yaakov al-Chodarka within Tishrei. Then the klal, there's in Yaakov al-Chodarka even after Tishrei, and now he's going into a prat. Sorry, the beginning he started with a prat of Tishrei, then he went to the klal after Tishrei, and now he's taking the klal of after Tishrei back into Tishrei. So the first part of the first Yaakov al-Chodarka is beprat. The second Yaakov al-Chodarka is b'chlal even into further after Chodesh Tishrei, and then the third one is the klal back into Tishrei.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean, but okay. The general idea, I think we get.
He's stressing kloli. There's an Inyan kloli b'chodesh Tishrei atzmai. The first chodesh Tishrei is b'prat.
That's what I was trying to say also. There's a klolistic avodah of Yaakov Hadarka that also in Tishrei has that. He's like it's mamshach to the year. There's the klolistic in of Yaakov Hadarka, but also that klolistic avodah in Tishrei itself is coming back, like Matzah Simas Torah or after Yom Kippur.
But he's taking us to the whole year now, not Tishrei. He already made that
the outcome.
He made that point earlier.
What? The tzarch Inyan kloli, tzarchlis Inyan kloli oid b'chodesh Tishrei. Also in Tishrei itself, there's that Inyan kloli.
Precisely.
So he's not saying anything new that he said before. He's repeating. That's what you're saying?
No.
He said earlier, something new.
No, he's saying a klal in Tishrei. Till now, he said there's a prat in Tishrei. Now he's adding the klal in Tishrei.
Tishrei is a klal, period. So he said earlier that there's the Yaakov al-Chodarka of Yom Kippur, Yaakov al-Chodarka of Meshach. It could be just repeating it. He's just repeating what he said before. It's not anything he didn't say before.
So what is
And it's not okay. It's his
Love that,
mime is, the mime is being said lamed Tishrei. So that he took the Avodah going forward, or today going forward. It's not mistabed. It's going to repeat again because that was all. Anything he said before was achana to where the Avodah is now. It's not mistabed. They go back and say it could be. The could be is just going back and going back, repeating what he said earlier. It's existence. It could be. Okay.
It says